Illustrations by Pete.
Hello everybody, and thank you for clicking on the video. Today I have something that's it's not, of course it's different for me. I have maybe 6 to 8 videos uploaded, so I know I keep saying that, but of course it's going to be a little bit different for me because everything that I do is a little bit different for me. So anyway, I wanted to go through a sketchbook. It's a big deal for me to finish a sketchbook, so I'm going to do a flip through of one. And the reason that's such a big deal is, let me see. Here, this is an example. So this is a Stillman and Bernzeta series sketchbook, and let's see, it says, let me get to the fresh page there and just cover up some information. So this went from January of 2016. Do you see that? Until September of 2020. That's how long it takes me to fill up sketchbooks. It's a very long time. Now this sketchbook took me 1 month to do, and I'm very proud of that. So that's big for me. That's huge, and it was because it was during October in 2019, and I blew through it. So here's typically what I'll do. I will take this little machine here. It's this Zutter bind it all machine, okay? And then I will punch holes in whatever kind of paper that I really want to use, and which is what I did here. And then I take these binders here, these combs, and I make my own sketchbooks. And that's typically what I do. I enjoy that, and that's what I did here. So I was really excited when Strathmore released their super heavyweight, I don't know if it's called super heavyweight, but it's their heavyweight mixed media paper. And I always do that. I just take the pad and then cut the pieces I want and then stick it in the back so I remember what I used in the book, because there's obviously no markings on it. And what I did for this one is I took these Canson mixed media boards and painted them black. I think that was spray paint on this one. Yep, it still smells a little bit. It was a year ago. It still smells just a little bit like spray paint. Anyway, so since it was during October and I didn't use prompts. I don't use prompts, so I'll make up my own as we go. I don't even know if all these were done during October, but I know they were done all during that month. So it was just a whole month of October. I think I did one in November. The last one was in November, but all the other ones were during October. So so we'll call this one, we'll call it cool and warm, I guess. And none of this actually was my focus here. The only focus I had for this piece was I wanted to have a cool light and a warm light coming out of the same light, because I saw a picture of that and I thought it was really cool. So I just wanted to, this is the only thing that I focused on, was to have warm and cool in the same light. Everything else is I just threw in there just to throw in there. It wasn't really my focus at all. So now this paper, I think it was this batch, because not all the paper did it. But if I soaked it down and then did a wet wash, it would get these little specks of color that would just, and it could be just on, oh, this wasn't a granulating color. I think this is a phthalo blue, which is not granulating. So I don't know. That part was disappointing, but I do enjoy I like thick paper. So this is like cardstock. It's a lot thicker than cardstock. 350 pounds, I think it is. That doesn't say on there, but yeah, 350 pound paper. And in these spiral bounds, I usually don't draw on the other side or paint on the other side. So this was orange and green, the prompt, I guess. Okay, so I love drawing, painting birds, and I like doing them in this little sketchy style. I really enjoy that. So this was an owl, and that was the prompt, owl. So I did this, and then I was looking up pictures of stacked stones and ran across about 30 different articles of how you're not supposed to stack stones because it destroys the the landscape or something, or animals could wander under there and then the whole thing collapses on them and it kills them or something. I don't know if that's true at all. I just it's just what I was looking at. So anyway, and you see, look at all those spots, and that's not on purpose. The paper just held on to it has like these little divots, and it just hung on to that pigment just in those little spots. And it did it with non-granulating colors. It's strange, but overall, I mean, it held up. Some of these I put a ton of water on, and it held up well. This was a picture of a chubby little bird, and I don't think those were the colors of the bird. I think I just did that because it was October and fall colors, and I just did that to it. I don't think those were the right colors, but yeah, that was the prompt for this one was yellow and orange, I guess. That was fun. I enjoyed this one. I know it looks like they're all leaning. They were actually slightly leaning because there's like a little hill there, but I like this drawing. I think this picture was from Pixabay, or I just picked different pumpkins from Pixabay and just put them in the picture. I don't think it was actually a picture that looked like this. So this prompt of this day was pumpkin. This one was, I think we were at a craft show, and I was sitting there just while it was slow, and behind us, this is actually not what this looked like. This was a wall of brick. It was short. It was probably only about knee height, and then it did have this thing on it, which I thought was pretty cool. I just put it in there, but these are houses behind here. They were all layered behind here. There's, I think they were like duplexes or just all joined together like a row home, or I don't know. But I didn't want to do that, so I just put some bushes around it and painted a little field in the background. Oh, the prompt for this day was cement egg. This is one of my favorite plants. This is hawthorn berry tree and just some hawthorn berries on a branch. If you have hawthorn berry, it helps your heart and helps your liver process cholesterol. And so it's good. It's good for you. It's a good plant to have around. And the prompt this day was branch. This was a poor attempt at a martial arts pose from Xing Yi, and it's not right. The hand should be lower and things should be moved more in line. But I did get the general shape of the body correct, and the front hand out right above. It should be a little bit higher, maybe eye level. But anyway, I was just drawing. I just found a picture of a guy who was doing it wrong, and I copied him doing it wrong. And the prompt of this day was doing it wrong. Again, so this is a little chubby bird, and there's a little one though. These are not hawthorn berries. These are little tiny berries. I mean, little tiny berries. And this is this bird is probably about the same size as it actually is here, about the size of your thumb. But it's a pretty bird. I love these colors, and so I know it looks very monotone, but I like those colors, so I used them. And the prompt of this day was colors that you like. This was, I think that was, yeah. So this, we took a trip to Pennsylvania, and I was sitting on a couch in my mother-in-law's house. I was just looking at some pictures on Pixabay, I think it was, and I think I was looking at bonsai trees and saw something like this. So I just wanted to do a little bonsai tree and throw some color in it, and that's really all I did. So the prompt of this day was bonsai. I know I'm saying that wrong, but it's okay. It's all right. This is one of my favorite drawing, painting, whatever you want to call this, in this book. It's a barn, and I put a ton of detail into it, and I think it came out really well. I don't remember exactly where this is from. This might be from, I have a landscape reference, building reference. I think it's an artist building reference book. And that's maybe where this came from. And then this was a different element from a different picture, and this was a different element from a different picture. I just put it all together. But this is one of my favorites. And on this page, I don't see much anywhere of those pits anywhere. But it was touch and go there for a while. But anyway, I really like this. This is one of my favorites here. This is the one that I have the video of. So I'm going to put a link to that video up here maybe, or maybe down here somewhere. Anyway, I'm going to put it somewhere. It might be in the notes for the video, but I'm going to put it somewhere. But anyway, in fall, I love colors, and I know these are muted tones, but they're still very bright. So when I say that I like a muted palette or muted tones, these colors are very muted by themselves, but when you put them against a dark background or something, they tend to pop a little bit, so they become brighter and less muted. But really, it's part of a muted color scheme on my palette. I like this one. Again, put a lot of detail into it, so I really liked it. I think I was looking up pictures of homes in New Mexico, I think it was. Don't quote me on that, but I think it was New Mexico, and I found this little house. I had a gorgeous sunset behind it, so I did that. I don't know if, let me turn off this light and see if it's a better representation of the picture. It's not so bad. But there's a huge shadow where my hand is now because I have the other light on. Anyway, this is nice. I added these little elements. These things were not in there. The building wasn't falling apart like that. I just added that in there. But it does have those weird, well, they could be southwestern or even southeastern. I think some homes in Florida have that tile that explodes, or anyway, I didn't want to draw all the tile, and the angle that this was, it was actually not as steep as how I made it, and so you only saw the edges so much. Anyway, it was fun. The prompt, I don't think I did the prompts. Okay, I have to go back. So the prompts, I did that prompt. The prompt of this day was crying. Sorry, I did a weeping tree in the back. Then the prompt for this day is fall colors, and that's what I did there. And so the prompt for this day is going to be Southwest house with a sunset. That was the prompt for the day, which is it's very specific, so it's very hard to find. And this is the last picture in here, and my least favorite of probably all of them was this bird, and I don't know why. I love doing bird pictures and bird art stuff. But anyway, the prompt of this day was to find something you like to do and make it look not like what you want it to make it look like. And so I think I did that very well. I think I'll give myself a hand for that. there are those, see those dots all over here still. I'm going to give them another try because I love this paper. It was very easy to work on. It's a bit like the Fluid 100 watercolor paper, which is cotton, and this is not cotton. I don't think it is. I don't think this is cotton. It never said cotton. I don't think it is. But even though it's 500 series, I don't think it's cotton. Usually I would include that somewhere in here if it was 100% cotton, but I don't think it is. Anyway, it acts like it because when you lay the color down on here, it is difficult to move. It doesn't tend to move very well. So it kind of gets stuck. And it's hard to see. I did a really light wash here, but sometimes you can get some hard edges. And sometimes that's what you want. You want, well, I'll try and find that. But sometimes you want hard edges and sometimes you don't. Okay, so see in here, there's a lot of hard edges. These colors did not blend very well when I put them all together. And even that little bit of a dark spot right here, it has a very hard edge right there. But I like that for certain things. So I really like this paper. I enjoy working on it. But I'll have to give them another chance. Anyway, that was just a quick video just to go through a sketchbook that I actually completed. And I completed it in 1 month. Very rare for me. Well, thank you for watching. And I'll talk to you soon. Okay, so I just wanted to add one last thing. There's just a personal feeling for me. If I'm going through a sketchbook, and I'm going to show some of these sketchbooks on here, and they're not all going to be pretty. You ever see people when they show their sketchbooks, they do a flip through, and every page looks like a masterpiece? To me, that's not a sketchbook. That's almost like a finished piece of art. And it just is cohesive or goes white from one to the next and everything looks good in it. My sketchbooks, none of them look like that. I'll tell you that right now. I have where I just sketch and have ideas, and sometimes it's a scribbled sketch, and none of them. This one is actually, this one that I just showed you is particularly pretty for typically how my sketchbooks look. And I'm going to go through a couple. I have maybe 4 sketchbooks that I finished completely, and I think I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think I have 8, maybe 9. To have 10 sketchbooks right now that I'm working in all at the same time. So that's why it takes me so long to fill sketchbooks. I'm working on so many different ones, and I use them all for different things. That's why I have so many. It's not like I enjoy doing one thing in one and not in the other. I actually use them in different ways. So the paper quality is different and has different stuff in there. But anyway, I just wanted to say, if your sketchbook looks perfect from front to back, that you do whatever you want to do. But I think it's a place to experiment and mess things up and destroy them. And I don't care if people see that. Sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't. But anyway, on the first page, I always do, this is a question that I get sometimes. So on the first page, I always do an experiment of something. Because everybody always has this pressure for the first page in their sketchbook. Like if they mess that up, it's going to destroy the entire book. I mess up the first page of the sketchbook on purpose. I do something that I'm not familiar with, that is going to ruin that first page. And sometimes it comes out okay, but it always looks messy on the front page for me, and that's okay. I think that's okay. But you do what you want. It's just an idea, just a thought. If you think you might want to mess up the first page so there's less pressure, and some people will start on the second page or start on a different page and flip through. Either way, you got to paint on that first page or draw on that first page, something. So I like to get it out of the way and do something crazy on it and not care about what that first page looks like and improve as I go through the book instead of just... Anyway, it's just what I do. It's just a suggestion. if you feel a lot of pressure for that first page, just do whatever you want. Get it done and be done with it. All right. Well, that's really everything I have for today now. So I will talk to you soon. Thank you for watching.